Hello. Hi. I am Susan Lenart, and I am here on the creativity collection for visionaries. This is my first time showing up here, but I have to say it's not my first time doing this type of work. I've been a teacher for 30 years, and I used to show up in a program called Jewelry Talk for 2 years during COVID, but it was on Instagram, and it was really, really a fun station where I brought in a lot of good ideas to jewelers and adornment. So, what I kind of really want to talk about, and then I'm going to actually keep my chat on too. So, you guys, please forgive me. I'm learning it all here today and being nice and relaxed. So, this is what I want to say is that for me, I've been teaching for 35 years, and many, many times I have, let me see if there's a chat here. And many times I have, I teach actually creativity through the medium of silversmithing. And I really love helping people open up to get to the real core self and really get to the work that is important to them. I'm here in my studio in Cleveland, and if you guys see get around on my site this whole month, I'm going to talk about creating a body of work, and that's what I'm mainly here for today. So and why? Because during the progression of me doing lives, I'm going to show up and start doing lives on Wednesdays again. And the subject matter is creativity, anything for artists. I was trained as an artist, and I'm now a silversmith. And in any type of work that you have to do, you're creating a body of work. So why am I talking about this subject? Because creativity heals, I promise you. It's like I have learned through many, many years of building bodies of work for stores. Oh, hi. Nice to see you. Great. Good morning. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining me. My first time here. So I'm so glad you showed up. I have no expectations, but I will be showing up Wednesdays live much more every Wednesday. So at least through the whole summer and fall. My schedule now, it's like I'm taking this profound time, which is exactly what I want to talk about when you're doing a body of work. I have 8 steps here, like the state to get into, to be inspired to create a body of work. So I'm going to give you guys those in just a couple minutes after I finish introducing, what's going on with my channel here. So I have been really in the field of creativity. I've had to get into this creative state so often. I started off early on, and I do museum exhibits, and I would do performance pieces. And I built lines of jewelry for Ann Taylor, for Banana Republic way back in the day. I built a really big line for Michaels Corporation. So this is where I want to draw. I've worked in corporate, and I've worked for myself and loved every minute of it. So I'm going to be talking about a lot of things like this and just growing as we go along. So let's see. This today, I'm going to just do an overall about how really to get started. And I have 8 steps on how to get started to be inspired, right? To build a body of work. We're all artists. We're all kind of in our studios by ourselves. We're building our work, whether we're painters or dancers or whoever we are. And we're going to find that we're a lot of times isolated. So, in coming together and really getting to your true self, sometimes you can use that isolation to your advantage and really draw in what you need to do to be profound in your work. So if you're actually really busy now with current work and filling orders and all of that type of work that you're doing, you can still continue to do that. But I want to give you some tips on like really getting into a profound space so you can get into this creative space. So the first thing I say, one of my most important things is like, how do you get into your creative space? How can you be inspired? Okay, one, oh my gosh, this is so important. Just to open yourself up to what you see going on in the world and where you live. Really open yourself up. So that means taking a little break from still fill out your pieces, but giving yourself some solid time where you can really get into your studio and into your head and into your drawing and your writing and all of the points for following. So even if you just have 1 hour a day that you can devote to like this new breath work. So to get into a new body of work, you have to go through your old work, but you need a new angle, right? So it's like once you can get into your new space, you will start, just spending like an hour a day in a new space and just moving forward in that way. So what I like to do is this, what I call the process of just letting go. So when you're letting go is the first step to anything. And I always, always talk about that. And that's step one. So building a new body of work, you have to kind of let go of your old ways so you can get into this new space, right? And in this, so it's like the way you let go is like take walks, breath work, maybe just try something new every day. One way to be inspired is just take a different route to work every day that you'd rather do. Shop at a different grocery store, that'd be kind of cool to do. Just try one thing different every day. And that's the first step you want to do. The second one is you really want to open up your eyes in a different way while you're absorbing the world. And, when you're ready to start taking in. For letting go, I do a lot of walking, shedding. Like when I get near trees near me, my whole environment, I let go, get near trees, do that breath work, just taking a walk around and absorb your environment. And why do I say absorb your environment? Because there is no accident that you are living where you're living. Isn't that interesting? So there's no accidents. So think about that. Here I'm in Cleveland, and I'm actually right next to Lake Erie. But when I get over to the water, I get so refreshed. And, I can really take in and understand why I'm living here. What you build is where you're at. The only thing that you could build in your body of work is who you are and where you're at and expand on that. And that's the only thing you could do. So you literally have to move into a new space to be able to build a new body of work, right? So that's by taking walks and letting go. And then I take walks and I just go out and I take a look at my environment. I see what type of flowers are growing around me. I see what trees are growing around me, what type of foliage is around me. And, all of this is really important. Oh, thank you guys. I see you guys here. Nice to see you guys. And believe me, I'm going to get smoother and smoother. I'm a little bit nervous today. It's my first time showing up live, but this is pretty cool. I'm excited about talking about it. So, so you're actually, you want to start absorbing the world and think about what stage you're in. Are you in a stage? There's inhales in the world and there's exhales. The inhales are where you're going out into the world and you're absorbing and you're inhaling and you're taking in and you're absorbing. But if you already have too much stuff inside of you, you're not going to be able to get to your body of work. You need exhales. Those exhales are letting go, taking those walks, just, spending that hour a day by yourself to really make sure you're letting go. And then you start bringing in the new with the inhales, exhales and inhales. I'm actually in a space right now myself where I am in a little bit of an inhale, which is nice. I feel like I've been in an exhale for a long, long time. So I'm finally at the place where I can bring things in. So the next thing that I want to talk about, that's two. Okay, walking around in your environment, it's no accident where you live. And talking about soaking in your environment, the perfect place to get you new when you're taking a vacation, when you're traveling, when you're sitting on your back porch and just studying a new book or reading a new book. Every single thing that we do can bring in new energies and new work to us. So isn't that a cool idea? So if you just, what books that you choose, I'm very careful like on what television programs I'm watching or reality shows I'm watching when I'm doing my inhales and when I'm really building my body of work, because all of this could be an influence. Some of these are really good, to look at different styles and what people are looking at, what their homes look like. And, I do that at the very end, which I won't get to right now. So we're still talking about, like, for me, whenever I take a big, profound trip, like I have a trip to India coming up, I've done a trip to Morocco. When I do a big trip like that, I know I'm going to have the chance to smell different spices and see different visuals and look at different, just a different world, and to have that experience just brings in such new life to your world. So even if and look, if you're not doing a lot of traveling right now, if you have kids, if you're busy, if you just can't do it, a good thing to do would just be to walk your own environment differently, to take a little trip 2 hours away, to spend a day, but to show up and be profound in yourself and really show up. And that's the important part, when building in that way. Also, you guys, keep an eye out for your objects, for your colors, for your, you know what I mean? Like when you're building, you're going to start finding that it's like I'm loving all these purples and blues in my new body of work. These two go. And gem work. And, a lot of pieces like this, you're going to see things like this showing up in my work. But remember, I'm going to talk about this little slowly but surely. So, today I just want to talk about the big overall. And then next time I'm going to start getting into shapes and color and how to bring things linear and how to bring things together. Hello. You're beginning to study. Oh, good. At an Islamic. Oh my gosh, art, new ideas. I love that. Yes, I love that. That's exactly perfect. So see, when you are going somewhere profound like that, make sure that you show up and absorb. Because I want to tell a little story. This is a little story years ago. It's like I, went to art school, and then I really studied silversmithing and through travel and a lot of different things here. But I hired a private teacher to help me to learn to draw. And this beautiful woman, oh my gosh, she came in and my first session in there, she's like, here, I want to see what kind of drawing you're going to do. And I was like, oh my God, I never learned very well as many times as I've taken this. And so I ended up drawing stick figures, basically, right out of art school, drawing stick figures. You don't learn everything. I knew pretty good. But anyway, this woman, she, the next time I went in there, she had me change the way I look at the world. Isn't that interesting? All you have to do is change the way you look at the world. So the next day, she's like, no. It's like I started off drawing a tomato. I just drew one round, and because my brain was like, oh, this is what a tomato looks like. So when you really look at a tomato and look at the darkness and the lightness and the colors, like we think it's red, but it's really not red. It's orange, it's yellow, it's brown, it's red too. It's light, it's absence of color, it's black. There's so many different colors in something. So when you're going on a trip like this, that's going to be amazing, because I have studied that type of work there, and you could really get into studying talisman work there and things like that. That'd be really fun to do. So it's the beauty of it. And so actually, when I looked at things differently, and that was just a 5-minute shift in my brain, and my whole work was completely different. So this is what I like to do now. It's like when you're starting to build your body of work, or when you're absorbing, which these are, this is on step 3. You're literally taking a sensitive moment, and I call it being profound. You're going to hear me say being profound over and over again. Conus shells. I love conus shells. They were money, currency way back in the day, conus shells, right? So it's like, what a great talisman is that to have, bring your prosperity around with you. So let me tell a little bit about my story. You guys want to hear a little bit about my story? I might as well. It's like and some people know it, but when I was younger, I actually did 2 years of college, and I loved anthropology. It wasn't until later I went back and finished my art degree, but I spent 7 years out in California, and then I started doing a lot of travels international, which was so cool for me. So one of the things in school I realized is that I loved anthropology. I ran into a peer one, and I was like, whatever this is what I want to do. So, you follow your heart. We owe it to ourselves to fill our passion and to follow our heart. So I actually started traveling. This is way back in the late 80s, early 90s. I started traveling, and I found incredibleness. This is before the internet, and I found incredibleness in each culture. I could see how we all were so different, but how we all were the same. and I started really realizing the pieces that I loved were pieces that people had on and coveted, different talisman of different shapes and different pieces and objects and, all these different type of pieces. And so I spent many years just traveling and collecting. And then I'd go back and sell to the Chicago galleries because I'm from Chicago. But after I'd sell the excess, I'd keep things. A lot of my work around the studio as I show things, it really is, I like to really show people about creating your own talisman, creating your own profound work. And that's really the basis of what this channel is all about. It's like a support system, a creativity collective and community for all of us so we can be strong in ourselves as a collective group, right? That's what I'm really working. I've worked on that so much in my life. I've done a lot of teaching, and we all can do talisman because talisman are the basis of doing your own work. Like we're talking about conus shells that you love. Well, that's prosperity. And if you love that, all you have to do is make this your own. So as we get into these different stories, I want to talk about I will be getting into getting up closer. It's like finding your objects that you love. There's a reason that you love these objects, and they're important to be in the work that you're drawing in. So it's like you're gonna maybe love what you love about the conus shell is the cream color. Oh look, I have one right here. Is the cream color? Here's a conus shell, guys, because I love them too. The curve shape, the carvings in there. If you can they're actually pieces that were found on the beach, and people can find them without the carvings on them, but you can actually do your own carvings and make them your own. So here's the thing is that I did years and years and years of studies on talisman, and I see there's many people who are afraid of cultural appropriation. All of us are afraid. We don't want to do cultural appropriation of another culture. So one of the things you want to do is really look deeply into your own origin story, into who you are and what you're about in your origin story. And then when you use these type of pieces, you can find your own stories. As long as you have your stories tied in and you're making the pieces your own. I haven't been to America yet. I'm based in London. Wonderful. Oh my gosh, wouldn't that be exciting when you do come out there? I'm actually really excited about a trip out to London soon. Thanks for joining me today. That's fantastic. I love London. We're all here in America. I mean, really, we're either, based in Hispanic or we love London. Like you guys, everybody here knows that that's our origin, either the Spanish or, so it's so interesting. That is where we always look to, us Americans here. Originally back in time were all the colonists, When I first came back from traveling, I was like, okay, I've seen all these talisman, all this different work. And in London, look, when I look for my own history, I'm actually Croatian. I am Polish. So for me, it's like, when I look back into my own history of talisman, you wouldn't believe the whole philosophy from from the Irish in talisman. Oh, amazing. Like I have studied the ways to build talisman in, how people in time through Europe, through England, through not Spain. Spain was always, remember, so really the Catholic. They didn't, well, way back in time, you're going to find back in time, everybody built talisman. And so you want to get into your origin story of your colors. And you also want to pick your colors that you're attracted to. Here's the crazy thing that I say. It's like, I have been building a lot of my work. I've been building this shape in a lot of my work for a long time. Oh my gosh, I love it. I'm not even Catholic anymore. But this shape, let me get it in front of the white. I've been building over and over and over again. And actually, I have a couple pieces. Look at these. I'm building, these earrings are not done. I'll be probably wearing them when I show up next Wednesday. But look at how it starts with that center. So I found that this emblem was on my family crest. Isn't that interesting? So go back in and dig. London was wonderful. My daughter lives there now. Oh, that's fantastic. Diane, hi. You know what? I didn't wear my, hello everyone, Diane says. Glad to be here. Oh my gosh. I'm so glad to see you, Diane. You know what? It's like I don't have my glasses on because I want to look beautiful today. So I'm trying to read. Maybe I'll have to try to find a way to make them a little bit bigger. You start putting on you start wearing your magnifiers all the time, and it wastes your whole ability to read, right? So anyway, I'm doing my best here, but this is cool. I'm glad. So Diane, I didn't know your daughter lived there now. That's amazing. Wow. Diane does her own talisman work, which is pretty cool. And you guys, welcome over to YouTube. I'm really excited about YouTube because I found I had such a big picture of what I wanted to talk about. I think, for me, it's like in restructuring things, I'm going to keep my Instagram site just for my jewelry. And I want to do, this is kind of a version of how I used to do jewelry talk, but this is really all about creativity heals, getting to your creative sources. How do you build your own work? How do you become yourself in all of this? Oh, thank you. Wait till, okay, Nicole, I am going to have them on next time. I'm so excited about these earrings. I'm going to be wearing them because the gem's in there. So the things you want to pick with your objects are your colors, your shapes, your your colors, your shapes, your texture, and I've got a little handful of things that I'm gathering because, as Diane knows and a few other people know, when I come on here and talk about things, this whole month I'm talking about building a body of work. And I have a couple other films in here, you guys, where I'm just, I teach it. I teach it. I teach it in my workshops. I'm talking about it now, but if you guys want to see me in person, I'm doing one a week, at least this week, this month, and next month, where I'm just in my studio building. I thought this can be a cool idea because it's like when I get a thought, I come up and I show it, and they're like 30 to 40 minutes. I'm going to have one a week in here that's just about how I'm working in my studio, slowly but surely building my body of work. Why do we even want a body of work? Did you guys want to know that? Because let's see, she got a master's. Oh, wow. And a doctorate film there. Wow. That's amazing. At the British Museum, Diane. Wow. One of my all-time favorites. Me too. Diane, are you, you don't have to answer, but are you Catholic? Susan helped me grow art more than anyone I have ever learned from. Thank you, Diane. Oh my gosh. Well, you know what, you guys? It's like, look, I have taught for 35 years and I do sell my own work, but you know what I find out? I'm on here sharing and I'm helping to build because on my path, what I'm learning is that we all are connected and we're all one. And it's like, look, the more I build my work and make it my own, the more you build your work and make it your own, you're excited, you're happy. To be in this creative flow is so much fun. Why? It's like, I remember when I first started teaching before I came to this place, I would be like, that person's copying me. And everyone was like, that person's copying me. Well, I really came to realize it's like, why would you copy someone? Maybe to learn, you copy them to learn the technique, always. And then what you want to move into is taking it and making it your own with who you are, with bringing up all your creative flow and all your ideas and what you're doing. And this is the thing that I love helping people to do is like get at their real work at their core. And you're going to be seeing more and more of this work that I do all the time. We inspire each other. Absolutely. We absolutely inspire each other. Oh, I work with copper, brass, okay, cowrie shells, and mainly clear quartz and leather. Oh, sounds amazing already. Yay. That sounds amazing. See, so when you pick your objects, there is no one else in the whole world that's going to have the combination that you have. You know what I mean? So always pick from your heart. And you know how to get there is go look in your junk drawers. Go look at your little collections that you have around. I came into my studio because really, literally, just about a few weeks ago, I started with the idea of, okay, it's time for me to get in there and start teaching my body of work again, or building my body of work. I had a huge transition, which some of you people know, just a huge change, huge transition. And I just really spent a lot of times letting go, and now it's like I'm dreaming up, how do I start? Where do I start with? When you have so many changes in your life and you want to start building new again, you just have to take it naturally. You can't push it. You can't make it happen. So here's what I say. So for one, just, start slow. Like make sure you spend this profound time. And believe me, you guys, I want to tell you this little story of years ago. I'm going to say right now, one of the reasons, how can you, is to watch your dreams. That is step number 5. Watch your dreams. And wait, step number 2 is get your journal. and really get your journal, and all your ideas go in there, all your writing, all your ideas, all your sketches, all your stuff, all your words. Your words are important. Everything goes in there. And so step number 5 is watch your dreams and watch your waking dreams. And I promise you, your body, when you go to sleep at night, all you have to do is tell yourself, I'm going to be open to see if I need to expand, on the materials I'm using, if I need to expand on the colors I'm using, or what would really do me good, what word would be good for me, what would be good for me. Was it four? Okay, let's see. What was four? Four was, okay, so it starts off with number 1, I'll say it again, is take time to let go. Let go, let go. Let go of the old, even if you're still building your current work right now and you feel like you want to bring in a little bit of new, you have to let go before anything new can come in. And by letting go, I just mean breath, taking walks, like letting go. I have a lot of ways to let go in my subscription here called Unfolding. And I know a lot of people are in Unfolding. Right here on YouTube, I have a subscription that's like $25 a month that is all about really building yourself with all of this type of stuff. But, with breath work, I give business tips and all of this on the inside. If anybody's interested in checking it out, I have something really cool coming too, but I'll talk about it next time I'm here live. So that was number 1, taking time to let go with breath work, with just telling yourself you're going to let go in your dreams, let go of, like, hand things over. I always remind people, hand things over. Sometimes that's what it takes, is just handing things over, right? That's how you let go. Hand it over. Be like, I don't want this anymore. And believe me, the universe will hear you. Okay, number 2 was open up. Then after that, you open up to absorb in the world, walking around in the world. When you finally have let go of enough, now things can come in. So walk around in your own environment and see what you love. Look at the world in a different way. Just look at it slightly different. That's all you have to do. And, like, oh, I really like this shape of flowers. Why do I like these flowers? Why do I like this color? Why am I all of a sudden liking, this is like a Kingston turquoise. Why do I love this turquoise? All of a sudden, that light blue, why am I loving this this nice amethyst here and the yellows together? I'm loving these colors. Take note of what colors, like, you're obsessed with. So that's number 2, taking in. Then it's begin to draw. Okay, walking around where you live is no accident, I'm saying, is number 4. Where you live is no accident. Take trips. If you do take a trip, know that it's a great opportunity to let go and bring in new. You know what I mean? It's a great opportunity. Any new experience that you do. When I get back from a big trip, I'm always like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to see what my work is going to look like when I have a chance to get to my studio, right? It's always good just to get away for a little bit. That's the letting go. So number 5 is watch your dreams, your waking dreams and your sleep dreams. If you tell yourself before you go to sleep, ooh, let me dream my dreams. I did that when I was in my 20s. When I first was, developing my work as an artist, I had no idea. I had never had work before, and not really. And I was like, okay, I need to see what type of work I should do. So I was telling myself, and just doing this breath work, which I do also show in Unfolding, my membership for $25 a month. I show breath work, getting into your dreams, getting into things like that. But here, I will say, the easiest thing to do is just to get onto, tell yourself, pull out your journal, write a note, like, ooh, I'm going to write down my dreams and I want to go somewhere and learn some new techniques. I have, in my dreams, and you guys probably have too, sat in a classroom and wrote things down and gotten the concept of it, even if I can't remember it in the morning. One time, when I was in my 20s, it was so profound. I spent about 6 months going into my dreams, and it was like I was in a museum. It was like darkened, and then there would be a light and a podium, and there'd be all these beautiful pieces in there that I didn't even know what they were, and I would go in and I would get to look at them, and I'd have my journal, and it was like a really formal setting, and there was nobody around. It was wide open with just a light on these jewelry pieces. They were jewelry. I knew I always wanted to do adornment, any kind of adornment. So I started just building my work after that, over the next year or two, just building my work, developing my work after traveling. And it was about my first body of work of talisman was really just about um, making it, making my own talisman from growing up on the south side of Chicago, from living in California for 7 years, that combination. I called it at the time a spiritual, industrial spiritual, but I loved it. It was really pretty cool. So I dreamt and dreamt and dreamt, and I started building it. And believe me, it was a crazy body of work, but you just have to go with it. And that might be another one too. Let me see. You have it. And as I finish the story, I want to tell you that number 5 is be brave enough to build it. When you envision it, when you see it, when you're going to study, like you're saying in Asia, when I go out to Morocco and I'm seeing something that is inspiring me, be brave enough to build with it. Like, why am I wearing a big piece of jewelry? Because it's like jewelry can be for the wall. It can, if this is too big for people, this vibrancy, this is what I dreamt to build. If it's too, if it's not wearable, it's for the wall, it's for light, it's for shadow, it's for all of this. So, be brave enough to build it is number 5. You have to have the courage to follow through and follow your heart. And believe me, when you're doing that process, many times it's telling you, this doesn't look like jewelry. This doesn't look like a painting. This doesn't look like work other people are doing. This looks strange. This looks weird. Trust yourself. Just trust the whole process when you get in that flow and build it. So for me, it's like I was dreaming and dreaming all different parts of this work. I ended up getting this body of work put together that was crazy. And if you guys want to go to my website, or I think on here, maybe on here, I'll have to put my original body of work that were all in talisman. That's so true. Yes. So true. So, it was like it was my original body of work. And I had a poker game on there, you guys. It was a poker game that came all the way down the front and all the way down the back. And it had 52 playing cards that you could see. It had a $100 bill on there wrapped up and riveted. It had cigarettes and cigars. I used to play poker. My dad would be smoking his cigar, a big fat cigar. So I couldn't balance out cigars on my work, but I put cigarettes on there. Money. There was money. There was all types of good luck charms on here. Real messy kind of wire work, because I wanted it to look like you were sitting in a smoky filled room, just, intense, a lot going on, playing your poker game. My father's a CPA. I grew up playing poker with, you'd love to see that. That's on my website. It's on my website. It's called The Poker Game. There's a, under just bodies of work, I have the whole talisman series there of my original stuff that I dreamt. And, I did put together this poker game. So I followed my heart. I went with it. Go with your thoughts. Truthfully, you guys, I got into the Smithsonian Museum with that piece. I got into another piece that was called the Energy Talisman, all out of these pencil stubs that, I was teaching Montessori art class, and I'd see the kids with their tongue sticking out, writing with their pencil, sharpening it, writing. And I was like, oh my gosh, from what I studied about European English ways to create talisman, it's by embedding energy into objects is really what it's about. And talisman really are pieces that you carry with you that bring certain characteristics to you. So like make you feel happy, make you feel joyful. They can protect you. Like the conus shell bring in prosperity, because if you're like, wow, I've got all this money in my hand, you bring in more money, right? That's what a talisman is. If I'm building this piece here, and in it I'm like, oh my gosh, this is turquoise. It's making me feel so good, like a beautiful sunny sky with the ocean. Every time I look at it, reminds me of that feeling. And that's what a talisman does. So, that's what I was studying. So I put together a piece that had hundreds of little pencil stubs that these kids, while they were working, they embedded all of this energy into these pencil stubs. I saw it. I was like, oh my God, that's exactly the ancient European way to build a talisman. So I was like, yay, I'm going to put together this piece. That piece, it went, these pieces, these original pieces that I dreamt, that I thought they were so crazy to do as jewelry, I ended up doing American Craft Council shows, Smithsonian shows. I sold them like crazy, believe it or not. I sold them with wall units, how to mount it on the wall, because how great is that to walk in and see a power piece that has, all this energy from it, with light, with shadow, sitting on the wall. I'm not saying somebody's going to wear it, you know what I mean? But some people do. I tell you what, that was called an energy talisman, because what it was about is the kids, these little kids with all this energy, putting their energy into these pencil stubs. And these pencil stubs were energetic. And that's how you build when you read about building talisman in England. So, so that piece, when I would go around and teach and show up or do a show or do an event, I would pull out my energy piece. If I was exhausted and like to get centered, put my energy piece on. And it's like, whoo, I am feeling all this energy coming in and it's making me feel good. And that was my talisman. So all of these pieces went to collectors. And believe me, when you start building from your heart, if you're a painter, if you're a singer, if you're whatever you're doing, your work will find the right people. Anytime, anything that you're doing in life, and I'm going to be talking more and more about this as we go. So the number 6 is stand behind your work, no matter what. So for me, it's like, I'm going to tell a little story of the first time I was in there. I was building. I wasn't quite at these pieces yet, the talisman pieces I'm talking about, but I was going out to India. I was going out to Thailand. I was going out to Asia. I was going out to South America, collecting beautiful, amazing objects and pieces and metal pieces. And I was like, oh, I'm going to put pieces together from all over the world, and see how that combines. And this is in the late 80s, early 90s. So this is really before the internet, before the world was connected. You know what I mean? So I was putting together, spending profound time. So this one is really about going in and spending profound time. That's not like running around asking your friends what they think of it, asking people. Don't let anybody see your work. It's not for anybody else but you, because your friends will you're sensitive at this point. You're open. You're wide open when you're building your true work. And when you're wide open, you're going to be sensitive to what people think about your work. So don't show anybody your work. Go in a nice little profound, quiet corner, quiet studio, lock your doors and build your work. And don't even, for me, it's like when I'm building a body work, I don't have it up on my Instagram for sale. It's not like, hey, this piece is this much, buy it. You have to kind of take a little break from that with your body of work. When you put together a big body of work, this is when the people you are looking for will find you. If you're doing retail events, like if you're showing up and doing retail shows, instead of being like, what do people want to, you could do, what do people want to buy? How can I make money? Okay, I can make 100 of these things. But you want to show up at your event with a few really profound pieces, and that helps all the little pieces sell, right? Let your work be cohesive, and the museums will start understanding you. Stores will start understanding you. Galleries, like you'll start being understood. People will start remembering you as your body of work. If you just have little scattered pieces here and there, if you're looking to really get your work, awesome creativity, go to successfulness. Absolutely. Absolutely. So this is what I'm saying. It's like, these are all the steps that I talk about slowly but surely. For me, I love building businesses. People who know me know that I have built quite a few businesses, and I build my businesses and my products the same as I build a piece of jewelry, the same as I do a painting. It's the same creative process. So the whole theory that I say is that get in, be profound, get aligned. And once you're aligned and really building your true work, now you're so clear that anybody can find you. They can find you if you want it, if you need people, because you're radiating it. You know, your people will be like, oh my gosh, I need to go see, even if they don't buy from you the first time. And, you know, I say buy. To me, to be successful as an artist, there's a number of different elements, but I like to sell also. You know what I mean? Like that's really, there's a number of successes in there. So stand behind your work no matter what is, you know, that number 6. And, you know, just really build from your heart, because really all the rest of it will come. All the rest of it will come. So you guys, this channel that I have here, and I hope you guys come, I want to do it so completely different than I've done things ever in my past. I'm so in and envisioning everything. And it's like us as creators, we are the heartbeat of the world. You know, we need to stay in this creative space. There's two choices. There's only two places to be in your space. One is in the creative space, which is in that flow, which is why we're artists, right? Hi, Sue. Nice to see you. So, you know, one place is in creativity, and creativity heals. That's going to be my whole philosophy on this page. Why do I want us all in our creative space? Because the more we heal, the more we all heal. We're a collective. This is a community here. I love the power of a group. And Diane and a few people know, and Sue, like the power of a group. I always talk about the power of a group. When you're in a group and we're all aligned, oh, the power that you can get from your group is friggin' amazing. And this is about the creativity collective for visionaries, which means just to be creative in your life. My dad he's retired now, but he was a CPA and a finance guy. Oh my God, he thought he had the most creative job in the world. You know what I mean? And it's like, look, when I build a company, I think I am so creative. I love it. So, you know, it's all just, and think about us as artists and creators. What do you want to create? A product, a body of work, you know, all of this. So when you get aligned, you just really will shine out that way. So don't worry. It all will come. The other state, remember I said creativity is the other state. The other state is one of like lack and fear, and it's called survival. So creativity or survival. You're in those states. It's like when you're in your real earthiness and have that fear of, oh my gosh, is my work good enough? Am I doing things good enough? Am I going to be able to sell my work when I show up at the show? You know, that's when you're in that survival state, because you're like, I hope I can survive. Whether you need the money or not, people have fear. Whether you have $1 million in your pocket and you show up to a show, you want to be accepted. You know, you want your work to be, you want something from it, or you wouldn't be doing it. Maybe not accepted. Who cares, right? You want to find your people. And guess what? I may be your people. We all might be our people here. And I have a surprise coming up. I've been talking to people about how I'm really, really looking to build this community where we could show up, share our work, be together in our studio. How about that idea? Be together in our studio for like a couple hours, whether we talk or not talk, we could look up and see each other. And I'm going to talk about that next week, you guys. So, because you know why? When you're an artist, you're in your studio by yourself all the time, right? You know why I started teaching? Because I loved the body of work sounds good. Yes, absolutely. Yes. So, and that's Jen. So, you know, we're in our studios by ourselves, and this is what it takes, that profound time. But it's good to check in with supportive people who are never going to say, what the hell is that? What are you building with that with, you know? So let me see what time it is. It's like almost 1:45. And so there's going to be more and more. So I want to talk to you guys. That was about how to be inspired. So some of the things that you can start with doing right now, you know, because we're going to be each week, I'm meeting here every Wednesday at this time, and I'll be talking a little bit more on the subject. I'll be showing you, like, you know, we can really get into ideas of how we're getting into our pieces that we love, our colors, like all of this type of stuff. But so some of the things you can do this week is, even if you are in your studio, whether you're a painter or whatever type of creative artist, a jeweler, you know, if you're doing current work right now, do your current work, but take 1 hour a day, or 1 hour, 4 days a week. Take 1 hour, 4 days a week, where you take a walk and think about this question, you guys. Make sure you have your journal. I have my journal in the middle of the night. I have my voice messaging in the middle of the night. I used to wake up and write down my dreams, and now I just get in and I do this app. Up, turned it off just in time. Oops, you guys are on my face is just my boyfriend there. So it's this one right here, right there, memos. And before I got on here and talked, when I don't have time to write things down, I'll just pop on and be like, okay, this is what I want to talk to these guys about today. And I can always go in and take messages later. So if you're spend like an hour a day either. Just get in your body, get in yourself and be you. Like feel who you are. When I was so busy with ice resin, when I had ice resin, I was doing a corporate line of jewelry that did $4 to $6 million a year for Michaels Corporation and Horizon. And Horizon was the company that builds all the toys for Disney. So it was cool. I learned a lot about corporate there. But by the time I ended up selling my company, I realized I was always in my head. And as artists, many times we're in our head. So, you want to figure out, get into your body. And of course, I'm going to be talking a lot about this because I'm going to do the support system on the outside here as our creativity collective to be together, to be strong, to be creators, to form a group. And if you guys really like this idea, make sure you sign up for Unfolding, which is I'm going to be here for free all the time, but Unfolding is where I can it's a whole different program. I'm separating both of those. And it's where I show ways on how to get into your creativity, how to be powerful as an artist, how, just different breath works. I studied energy all over the world when I studied talisman. And, I took a training in Kundalini yoga. So if you guys, and because for me, that scared me when I realized I don't even know how to get into my body. I was here in my head the whole time. And you know what? When you're here in your head, your body will decay. How about that thought? I looked like I was 80 years old when I sold my company. And I was, because I was living up here, I wasn't taking care of my body. So eventually I learned again, a refresher years and years ago, just how to pull energy in and use it in my body to create, to heal myself, to make myself strong, to make myself powerful, to bring in ideas and all of that. So this is all about the energy work. But to start with, you guys, take walks. Do that breath work. Just do the breath work and breathe out. Listen to some good, don't try to bring anything in at the beginning. You're going to be amazed, even if you feel like you're perfectly safe, perfectly developed into yourself, there's more to let go of, and you could become exactly who you want to be. How about that? I'm on my way to becoming exactly who I want to be. So come with me. I'm just like showing it all because, I love this. I've taught for many, many years. It's more satisfying for me. I have built my companies. I've sold companies. I've done all that. It's really exciting for me to be able to share this information. It helps all of us grow. It helps us to become better people, to do our real work, to be aligned. I have such beautiful friends and people I have met through here. Some of my big pieces have come from my dreams, Diane says. I didn't even see that one. Oh, that makes me so happy. See? And that's really the truth, you guys. Watch your dreams. Take those walks. Just think about letting go, but get into your dreams and hear your messages. Believe me, Susan online courses are way worth the investment. Oh, they helped me greatly. Thank you, Diane. So Diane, I love her. Diane really is with me. But for $25, you guys, I always keep things well priced and low because it's $25. There's something coming up in here, which I'm going to be announcing. It's going to be inside Unfolding, and I'll announce it on the outside too. But it really is going to be, I've been digging for years to try to figure out how to put together a good community where we're in our studios building, we still have each other. You know what I mean? So be part of this group. We're all on our way to growing and being ourselves. So that's what you guys can do this week. It's just work on letting go, handing things over. I always remind things, letting go, handing things over, whether you believe in Jesus or Buddha or God or the universe, that's who you hand it over to. Like, oh my gosh, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm handing it over. Hand it over. Hand it over. Let go. Take your walks and just breathe. It's that deep breath. Let go. And then start watching your waking dreams and watch your dreams and keep your journal. And And then when we meet next time, we'll get more and more into bodies of work, if that makes sense. But I'm going to be here every Wednesday, you guys. And I'm so happy to see you guys. And you know what? While you guys are on here, I know some people are new to the channel. This is where I want to be. I'm really feeling comfortable here. So take a look around. I'm actually doing, as I'm teaching for this next month or two on a body of work every week. I'm just doing film of little projects I'm working on and how I'm getting closer and closer building my body of work. So that's kind of what the month or two is going to be. Sometimes in the summer, we get this great profound time to build a body of work, right? So is there any questions from anyone? So I'll be on here on Wednesdays. If you want to, right from here, you can pop into unfolding and take a look at it. Oh, I inspire you. You inspire me, Susan. Thank you. I think it's like, as I tell you, as I'm getting closer and closer to being myself, that is one of the things I realized. I used to teach people in jewelry, went to bodies of work. Like I would be, people who were selling at Smithsonian, showing up at American Craft Council, putting together bodies of work. Like those artists were my people that I taught. So I love being inspiring. I'm really feeling like I do all this work every day to get into this higher vibration. And when I'm in this higher vibration, our group works good because you guys will be in this. See this vibration that we're all in right now? See the power of a group. So when I walk around in my good, powerful vibration, if I have a group that shows up in unfolding or shows up in here, right here, the power of this group, I can feel you guys, and you hopefully, and it sounds like you guys can feel me. You're inspiring me as much as I'm inspiring you. So it's like sometimes when I'm, which I'll get onto a different time, but look, we're all empaths as artists. We pull in other people's energy. So I need you guys to be up at this space, and I'm going to be in my space. And the more we can get this power going, guys, the more powerful and effective we're going to be in the world. Make sense? Okay, you guys, I am going to end this. This will be here if you didn't get the whole thing. And just poke around. You can look at a couple things that I've put in here recently. Oh, thank you guys so much for coming. Mwah. And I will see you guys, if nothing else, next Wednesday here, 12 noon Eastern. And I'll be talking about the next level. All right, you guys, make sure you subscribe if you're not subscribed, and pop into Unfolding if you want to see it. It's a powerful program for $25 a month. All right, you guys. Mwah.